Good morning and welcome to another edition of Outsider Genie's preview. We are previewing Turffontein for today, 1st of February. Before I start with my selections, I just want to mention quickly a few things. Please subscribe by clicking on the subscribe button and ring the bell. By doing that, you will be notified when I upload my previews for each day's racing, which I'll be doing hopefully from February each day. And also, I am making use of the online computer form. So sometimes it's a bit of difficulty to scroll up and down because I need to read the form so I can give you the correct information. So if you see there's a little pause or a silence from me, then you know I am scrolling up and down, because now I'm looking at myself on the screen, but just now I'm going to open up and change to the online computer form. Obviously then I can't see myself because I'm looking at computer form. So just bear with me, I'm trying and I'm still learning, and but scrolling up and down on a PDF document sometimes is a bit difficult, so please bear with me. So let's kick off with race 1. Race 1 is a work riders event, and here the favorite is number 1 Viper Jet, currently at 6-10. Now I can tell you from the start, I won't be rushing to take the 6-10. Yes, the horse can win. Yes, the horse has got the form. Yes, the horse has got the breeding. Yes, the horse has got everything in his positive, except it's drawn 10. Now, I say you can overcome wide draws, but then you need to have the experience, and I'm not sure whether some of the work riders always have the experience. So taking 6-10 on a horse that's jumping from draw 10, I won't do it, because there are horses in this field that can beat this horse. I'm looking at number 3, ridden by Sam Lucia, one of the more experienced riders. Last time out, this horse ran behind War Jewel over 1600 meters, and he weakened over the last 400 meters. So, and the race before that, it just says no finish over 1160. So I think today over the 1450, this horse might have a better chance. Also, you can look at number 2, Friends Forever. He's improving with every run. Last time out over the 1400 meters, fastest 400 to finish, moved up, no extra, drawn 4. And then also you can look at number 7, Hot Gossip. This horse ran second in its first race behind Golden Bell, and then over the 69 meters it reared at the start, and obviously his race was shot, and then he ran 3.25 lengths behind a Midnight Top. But it is a horse that can improve, and it's got a very experienced rider in the name of Matsuela. So that is the first race. And then also, yeah, I want to say there's a few first timers from Paul Peters. He's got 3 first timers. Number 8, Well Bred, cost 250,000 Rand. You're not going to pay 250,000 Rand for a horse that hasn't got the looks. So that might be something to include in your quartets and so on. And then there's a Philanthropist, but didn't show in his first race. And then there's a Flower Alley by a Mishak's Approval mare. So not a strong first race, but definitely I won't be rushing taking 6-10. We then move on to race number 2, where we have a favorite here, number 12, Sultana. Sultana is currently at 8-10. It ran 2 races. First race 5 lengths behind Different Light, finishing second fastest 400 to finish, slow last 1 length, and then last time out, Late Challenge, third fastest 400 to finish, 24.4, drawn 4. Yeah, I think that this horse will be the business today, and this is not a very strong field. I couldn't get a lot of horses to beat him, except number 1 Bella Rosa can definitely I think is the horse that can definitely be the favorite, currently at 4-1. Those horses also improving all the while. They've been putting it over 1800 and 1600, so today it's again over the 1600, and definitely can be involved in a finish. Another horse that's also improving is number 2 Milford Sound. and it's got the French jockey Motard on board for Michael de Kock. Has been also improving. Last 2 runs over 1600 meters, both placed. It's a filly by Flower Alley out of a Fort Wood mare, Fort Sylvia. Did cost 120,000 rand as a yearling. Another horse that it's drawn 13, but it can, I think, can be involved in the placings is Guadeloupe. You can have a look at it. Number 4, Get Set. My selections, other outsider selections in this race is number 9 and number 11. Let me just quickly discuss those horses. Number 9 is Bordeaux Beauty. It's a Visionaire mare. This horse has only had 2 runs. Over 1200 meters, it's trained by Ashley Fortune, where it ran 2.8 lengths behind Curari Ferrari. Curari Ferrari has now won 3 races, and last time out over the 1600 meter was 9.5 lengths behind Stately Home, and it got bumped at the start, hung out. So definitely a horse to include into your calculations. Then here's a nice roughie for you can include in your quartets. Number 11, Last Cheer, Jam Alley by Cheers by Jallard. It ran 9.5 lengths behind Meerkat in its first race, which is in the same race as Sultana, which also ran second behind Meerkat. But this horse, it says never in at 9.5. But what I liked about this horse finished second fastest 400 to finish 24.2 over the 1600 meters at Turventine, drawn 10 out of 16. I think that this run looks better than on paper, so definitely include number 11, Last Cheer, into your quartet. I'm sure this horse is definitely going to improve, and it's getting the -2.5 from the jockey, so definitely inclusion in all your trifecta and quartet swingers and exactas. We now move on to race number 3, where we have another strong favorite, which is number 12, Master Supreme. Master Supreme is a Master of My Fate by Kahal May, but the problem with Master Supreme, it's drawn 14, and this race is over 1200 meters. Let me just quickly check. It's over 1800 meters, sorry. And yeah, so we're going to have to see how the draw is going to play out. Let's see, slow into stride. Last 400 finish last time was 26 seconds. And people, you'll see, I always talk about the fastest 400 to finish. I'm a firm believer, a horse that can run on at the end must have a chance, because that shows the horse is fit. Okay, so definitely number 12, and then my outsiders for this race was race 3 was numbers 2 and race 3. My first selection was actually number 3. Number 12 is the favorite, but my selection was number 3, which is Tyrrell's Bullet. Yeah, this is the horse I'm talking about. Number 3, Tyrrell's Bullet, has been improving slowly. Now, this horse is by Gitano Hernando. Definitely out of it, can't do one me. I think this horse, the further it goes, the better he'll get. I mean, this horse would be running on for 2,400. You'll see it has run 5.25 behind Imperial Ruby. Now, for those of you people who don't know, Imperial Ruby has since come out, and I think has won another race and run a good second, if I'm not mistaken. Out of this race, 9 runners, 2 winners. The race before that, 9 runners, 1 winner. So, but the problem also, again, drawn 16. In my other selections is, outside selections number 2, El Rumiachi. Now, El Rumiachi did run a place during the week, and 2 runs ago, it ran third. Now, again, one must always look out for stables that come to form. Normally, those stables start running places, and Romeo Francis has been running places. You had a big win the other day with that horse of him called Generoso. So this might be, and I'm sure when this runs in places, it will pay well. It's currently 18 to 10. While we're talking about stables coming to form, please follow Baron Botha's. Baron Botha's stable is coming to form. He had a nice winner the other day, and so I think his horses will start picking up. Then I also selected number 4, Fast Draws Crusade by Silvano Mare. Again, this horse would be crying out for the 1800 meters. And last time out it was 6 lengths behind Storm Commander. It says here no strong finish, but it ran fifth fastest, wanted to finish, and a few runs again, 5 lengths behind Inside Politics. But I think this horse is also crying out, unfortunately, drawn badly again. It just looked like all the horses that I fancy is drawn badly. So I hope this is not a disadvantage. Luckily, this is not a pick six, not a pick six leg. Another horse I want to point out, you're going to laugh at me, but I'm sure there's I'm going to pull something on this horse. Not pull, I mean, this horse is going to run somewhere someday. Number 8, Zombie. The run before and last, he ran 7.25 lengths behind. And that last time out again, behind Whipping Boy, he was nothing left over the 1600 meters. But over the 1800 meter, the pace might be a little bit slower. So that is an end race 3. I'm not going to hop too long on race 3. Oh, yeah, just one last thing. Last time out, when this horse, number 14, Sun Giant, had its first run, I think the commentator mentioned how big this horse is, and then they started him up over 1800, but it didn't. It says you're stirrup detached, so maybe if you're looking for outsider in your quartets, you can include number 14. Let's now move on to race number 4. We have a small field of 5 runners because Duke of Spin was scratched. And here my selection, and I've given it also as the best bet of the day. It's currently 28 to 10. Is number 2, Heroes Honor. This horse, if I'm not mistaken, is a Grade 1 winner. I think it won the SA Derby. Now, it came off a race last time out, and it ran behind Jetstar, about 3 lengths behind number 1, Divine Odyssey. But Heroes Honor was coming off a race from June, from the 5th of July, where he ran 5 lengths behind Barin, 3 lengths, and before that 3 lengths behind Famous Fox. A while ago, earlier in 2019, in March, he was beaten 5.5 lengths by Divine Odyssey. But Divine Odyssey was only carrying 52, and this horse was carrying 61. Now they're carrying level weights. This horse has beaten Return Flight, he's beaten Approach Control, and the Gary Alexander stable is in form, and I'm thinking that this horse will go close to this race, hence it's my best bet. Yeah, Saddle Falls must be in with a chance. My outsider thing is Lake Kinnerit, Ronald Danielson. This horse is from St. Gay stable, and with him anything can happen, but this horse, since it's a small field, it can surprise. That's why I've put the field in my pick 6, because they say the smaller the field, the bigger the upset. Number 5, Master Magic, have run some decent races in the past, and has ran against 3.5 lengths behind Sukrat. You know, that is not a bad run. So also a horse that's in with a chance. Yeah, so that's the field for me in race number 4, the first leg of the pick 6. We then move on to race number 5. Now, after race number 5, you guys going to laugh at me or you're going to thank me. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll have to see what's going to happen. Because my choice here is a number 5 Western Dance, drawn for currently 53 to 1. Brett Weber won over outsider the other day. This horse has had a stable change in April. It has ran over this distance and longer distances. It ran 13 lengths behind Queen Supreme, which was in an A division. This horse is now running in a D division. Let me just check quickly. Race 5. It's a C division, 76. Now he's running in he was running in an A division with an average merit rating of 113 lengths behind Queen Supreme. It ran 3 lengths behind Factor 50. Factor 50 is no slouch. You know, so by chance, I think by chance, when he ran 6 behind behind 6 lengths behind by chance, I think by chance won by 4 lengths. Last time out, Imperial Ruby, I don't know what happened there. It says nothing left, but there was over 2,400. I think coming back to that, you must have a chance. And then also I'm looking at number 2, Drive Express. again, St. John Gray, he's always a, you always have to look out for his horses. And then number 3, Rabia the Rebel. Obviously, she will go to the front, and she's just one of those horses she never gives up. She, oh, I see, interestingly, she was also in a race behind Queen Supreme. She finished 11th, 17 lengths, and where did Western Dance finish? Western Dance finished 10th, 13 lengths. So she finished behind Western Dance, but obviously they're all both down in class. She also ran 6th in that race behind By Chance, and where Western Dance ran 8th. But yeah, the favorite here is number 4, Hard Swings. My Bones Seattle by Act 1 Me. I don't know. If you look at this horse, and last time out over 1800, no extra left. If you look, it runs, goes to the front and dies at the end. So I'm not sure whether this horse is going to do this distance of 2,000 meters, but I might be proven wrong, and I might be the laughing stock. Another horse I'm liking in this race is number 8, African Sunbird. African Sunbird is always there and thereabouts. He ran 2 lengths behind By Chance in that race, with it By Chance won second behind Pelgrim's Rifts a few races before. So it's always a horse who's there, and then that's the type of horse that can upset the apple cart. We then move on to race number 6. Guys, this is Murphy's Law. Now today the scrolling no problem. Other days I can't get the thing to work. That's amazing. Here another value bet. Just for instance, race 5, Western Dance was my first value bet, and my second value bet is here in the 6th race. Number 1, Winter Watch. Now, if you look at this, this is a class C80. Now, Winter Watch ran in a class A average merit rating of 101. Before that, 92, 99, 102, 100. The last time he ran in this class, accidentally he ran second to Nawazi, but that was on the Vaal. Okay, so hopefully Diego de Gouveia can bring her home. The only thing counting against her is draw 10. I also see as he has in a A division against the ability rating of 100. She ran 8 lengths behind Sarah. Sarah is a favorite for one of those big races in the Cape. She ran 2.3 lengths behind Nicky New. You put Nicky New in this field, you'll murder them. So for me, Winter Watch definitely a good value bet. Then my other selections, number 4, outsider selection number 4, Ocean City. It's not a big outsider, it's 92, but this horse also runs well, always there and thereabouts, and must have a chance. And then we get to Eskimo Kisses. Now Eskimo Kisses is the favorite, and it ran second behind Mademoiselle, and I think on a weight turnaround today, it should finish in front of Mademoiselle, and she had also run against some decent League of her own, Princess Penelope, but I'll stick with my selection number 1. Another horse that you can look at and to include in your play is number 8, Arikel. I have included it in my pick 6. Seister is riding it, minus 2.5, so it's only carrying 52.5. Last time out, they ran against Claire Morris, fastest 400 to finish. The race before that, fastest 400 to finish behind Florence. And then, this horse always comes from behind. She ran second behind Alzara, fastest 400 to finish, 23.1. 23.2, 23, 20, 23, 23.4. So this horse really likes to run on, and would be running on at the end. It's also drawn 5. That's why I included it into my pick 6. We then move on to race number 7. It's a merit rating handicap for 94, Class B. Now everybody is going to go for one Marshall, and for no, I don't say the horse can't win the race. It can win the race. But I found another horse here, number 8, War Jewel. Now, War Jewel has run a few places, but I'm sure this horse ran only 5.75 behind Shango. whereby number 1 ran 14 lengths behind Shanker, although it was not in the same race. But it's always a pointer that you can look at. So my choice in this race is number 8, Ward Jewel. And also this horse ran second behind Follow My Path. Follow My Path is not a donkey either. So, and then my outsider selections is number 3, Ballon d'Or. It's a Pomodoro, and it's only had 3 runs. But the last time in November, race in November behind Foster's Gold, Handy no finished. But I'm sure I'm seeing Luke Ferraris and Terriers having a great run, and I'm sure today over this 1450 Ballon d'Or will give a better account of himself. It ran in B class. Last time out was A class, and then before it in a B class, 7 lengths behind Tellini. Today it is back in a B class, 84. And an interesting thing is, this horse in its first run, it beat a horse called Bouncing Tiger. Now, this horse now they were running at level weights. Ballon d'Or now carries 55.5, and Bouncing Tiger carries 52. And you'll see it's that man again, corner his piece. This horse ran against much stronger last time out. It ran behind Gigi's Dynasty, 2 runs back behind Benaview. So definitely a horse that can upset the apple cart. So yeah, this is also difficult. And then there's some horses from 2 horses from Woodruff that has both just won their maidens, and the one has got 1 run after the maiden. They have run against each other. And then you also got number 4 Enrique. It's getting -4, carrying 51. So in my pick 6, I win the field in this race, because I don't think this number 1 is a certainty in this race. I've burned my fingers too many times with the cock horses bankering, but not that I say it's Mr. the Cock. I'm just saying sometimes we go for his horses and then we get our fingers burned. Now, because I'm going so big in the other legs, I had to find a banker, and the closest one I could find to a banker was Mambo Symphony. Mambo Symphony did run during the week. It ran second behind Darkest Hour, 2.75 lengths over the 1600 meters. Today it's over a little bit shorter, and this horse has been proving all the time. It's now with that informed stable of Candace Dawson. So this is my banker for the day in my pick 6. And my outsiders in this race that I've selected, we now have race number 8. Race number 8, 6 and 10. Now let's look at number 6. Number 6 is Podcast, and the reason why I took Podcast, remember I just said to you just now, you have to follow Baron Bottas. Zone 5, it's never been over this course and distance, but it's always showing pace and then stops at the end. So I think over this specific course will suit this horse well with the shorter straight. It's gonna be up there, and from there, he might go on, or maybe run a place. And at the betting Podcast is currently 10-1. Might get a nice each way bet. And also, obviously, number 7 Shortstop Must Have a Chance. Did ran second last time, and is overdue for a win. So it has had 679 days without a win. It has ran second to Lazer, and there's a lot of form. There's already 1 winner out of that field. So if you can afford it, add number 7 to the pick 6 if you don't want to bank a number 1. Another outsider I like is number 9, Sir Geoffrey. It's carrying 56 -2.5. Now this horse it's only had 9. It's 5-year-old, but it only has had 9 runs. So obviously it has had its problems. It has now had 3 runs, 4 runs since July, and I've got a feeling some other time this horse is going to start improving, because this horse has actually won a nice race earlier in his career over a 1400 meter at Vaal, beating Movie Magic. And I just feel today is the day that this horse might be in with a chance. Another horse that also can run a place, because this horse also sometimes can finish, a good finisher, and it gets -4, is 10 Country Square. That is always there and thereabouts. So it's running in a lower division than it ran last time, 5 lengths behind Roy Tom. Before that, he was also in that Lazier race. So put that horse into the back ends of your quartets and your trifectas. We then move on to number 9, race 9, which is also a very open race. And here my first selection is number 9, What a Story. It's a 5-year-old byword by Ellie Star Mare. Now, this horse hasn't came off a rest since April 2019. It was with Ferreira before, but after his death it has moved to Stephen Moffat. And last time out it ran in a B division, 90, 6.5 behind topmost. It says in touch, no extra. But before that it has some decent races against some relatively good horses. And I'm looking at this horse to improve today. Currently in the betting, number 9, What a Story, is 14-1. In my other selections in this race is number 5. Let's have a look at number 5. Spanish Boy. Again, a Wittroff horse. This horse won its first race, beating Wild Twist, something like that, Willow Twist. Slow Good Ride, Ballerina, over the 1200 meters. And then they put it against a strong field against Icky Guy, and we all know how good that horse is. Unfortunately, he didn't run too well. Then in December, over 49 Christopher Robin, no finish, and last time out behind certifiable, Never Dangerous 6.75 machine. That was a C division. Now today it's running in a D division. So I'm thinking, I'm tipping this horse, Spanish Boy, purely on breeding. It's really well bred. It's Silvano out of a Western Winter Mare, and I'm sure this horse, they paid 500,000 for it. If you pay 500,000 rand for a horse, it must be looking, it must have confirmation, must have everything. I'm sure this horse is gonna come right some other time. Who knows? Today might be the day. In the betting, this horse is 12-1. Nice horse to conclude your pick 6. As per normal in my pick 6, I have got the field included in my pick 6. My other outsider selection is number 11, and that's Golden Man. This old man is only carrying 48 today. And unfortunately, this horse has got 78 runs, 6 wins, 21 seconds, 6 thirds, and 8 fourths, accumulating 825,000 rand. And this 8-year-old has steadily come down in the merit ratings, and the last 3 runs, 4.75 behind Baby Let's Mambo. That was that big winner of Spies, and that was in the C division. Then last time out in the C division, slightly higher division, he ran 6.5 behind Roy Tom. On this course and distance, 4 runs, 1 win, 2 seconds. So 11 Golden Man in the betting is 12-1. Yeah, so include that into your play, whatever you play. So that concludes our review for today. As I said, just click the subscribe button, ring the bell, and every time I post a video doing a preview of today's racing, you'll get a notification. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Break a leg.